Hi, my name is Matt Hancock, Vice President of Member Experience and Healthy Living for the YMCA of Greater Tulsa, and a member of YPN Chapter 71 and a board member for the chapter as well. I'm here to tell you a story of what led up to the events on June 21st of 2012 here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. My wife and I, Tommy Jane, pregnant with our first child, everything going great in the world. Well, the Y was going great, life was going great. About to embark on parenthood, and went to a routine visit at the doctor on the 20th of June to find out that my wife had high blood pressure. Immediately got admitted, that she was going to be on bed rest and we were going to have a kid at some point due to the medical reasons that would happen in the future. So the day happens, June 21st at 9 a.m. My wife and I are in the room, and a doctor comes in and says, "You guys are going to stay here, and one way or the other, you're not going to leave until this child is born due to your risk of high blood pressure through something my wife lives with called factor V." And in the process of that, at that moment when the doctor comes in, my wife's rolls over to throw up, and when she does, they lose the heart rate of Maddox. You know, the baby that we've thought about, we've prayed about, loses heart rate. And as quick as it could happen, all of a sudden, cords are unplugged, my wife is being rushed down the hall, doctor screaming, yelling, and I'm left in a room alone, and left in a room not to be known what's going to happen next. And that next 8 minutes felt like an eternity. The next 8 minutes felt like I was so alone. And as I sat there and I prayed and thought about the what if, what could be happening, what was happening, 8 minutes later, I get a pair of scrubs thrown to me, and the doctor comes and gets me and says, "Your son is born, 9 weeks premature."
You know, the first time I got to hold him, the opportunity to hold my son Maddox, not knowing what the future would hold, just minutes after being rushed out of the room to delivery. That first day was really tough. It was an opportunity to be tested. A kid with hoses, cords, not really knowing what happened next or what could happen next while we entered the NICU was a trial for all of us. Every day we look forward to going and having the opportunity to go to the NICU. 40 plus days in the NICU obviously wasn't the best thing or the thing we looked forward to when we became parents, but we were in the best place, and we did have why people thinking of it.
By the end of the day, as things, we didn't know what was going to happen. All of a sudden, what we know is my wife is fine, but my son had a fight. He had a fight he was going to have to make happen. And because of being in Tulsa, and because of being at the St. Francis Children's Hospital here in Tulsa, one of the greatest children's hospitals in the nation, we knew we were going to the NICU, and we were in the NICU for quite a while. And what ended up being was a NICU stay of 45 days. 45 days of not taking a baby boy home that we thought we'd take home later in the year, and having the opportunity to have a place where we knew he would get the best care. About day 2 in the hospital, I got a Facebook message from a gentleman named David Foster. It was a Y employee in Oklahoma City. And then I got a Facebook message from a guy named Derek Smith, who is a Y employee in Dallas, saying, "Hey, you're an AYP member. Do you know about the Employee Assistance Fund?" And I didn't know. What I did know is I had contributed, but I didn't know exactly what EAF was. And there, over the next few days, more and more people reached out and said, "Hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about when this happens, and you worry about your family. Don't worry about the bills. Don't worry about what's going to happen next when it comes to the things at the Y. Just know that at the end of the day, there's a group of Y employees that'll take care of you." And those Y employees essentially took care of us, and took care of us from an opportunity and a benefit, and that benefit being EAF. The process, the number of employees, the number of people in the Y that reached out, and we were blessed to have the opportunity to have EAF. Thousands of dollars of bills, 45 days in a hospital for my son in the NICU. And without EAF, I don't know what we would have done. As a young executive director in Tulsa, brand new to a role, a wife that wasn't working due to the pregnancy, I don't know what we would have done. But what I do know is because of EAF, we had an opportunity to receive a grant that likely one of you provided a gift to our family and provided a gift that has provided us a great sense of relief throughout that situation.
It's hard to believe that a kid that went through so much early in life would be the functioning young man that he is in school as well as at the Y, whether that be in soccer, t-ball, basketball, finding success at the Y, or in anything else without really having any limitations.
To the many of you that contributed to EAF, that contributed in the past years, that contribute this year, no matter the amount, the number of people that are impacted by EAF is great. It's not just the impact that it makes on the recipient, but it's the impact it makes on those around the recipient, those that have an opportunity to assist with other things, and the time that I got to spend with my wife and my child versus worrying about the bills. Thank you for being an investor. Thank you for donating your resources to support other Y people just like me that are YPN Prime members, so that they may not have to worry about that bill, that unfortunate event, and that they can be in the moment with the people that are most important to them, whether that be through an unfortunate death in the family, that be through a fire, that be through a natural disaster, that be through a situation like my own. Thank you so much for being a contributor, and thank you so much for being an investor.
Hi, my name's Maddox. Thank you for giving to EAF.